Everybody, it's 2026, and perhaps this could be the year that Microsoft pushes AI just a little too hard. The internet is exploding right now about Microsoft's CEO stating that this could be a pivotal year for the company as far as AI is concerned. I mean, this person is just crazy obsessed with AI, or as I call it, artificial limited intelligence, because it's like a young kid who's learning how to ride a bicycle in a way. It's still training on how to do things, and it's just not as intelligent as human thinking in many ways. But yet this garbage is being forced on us in so many ways. I mean, Microsoft, they're right there at the top of the list of companies that are forcing it upon us. Thanks to Windows 11, they're pushing it into the operating system at almost every way you can think. From having to use a Microsoft account just to set up Windows to, well, yeah, you name it. We'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, so the internet has been on fire these past couple of days. Basically, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, if I pronounce that right, made a post to conclude 2025 that this could be a very, pivotal time for the company. So I'll start by referencing The Verge article, and I'll put a link in the description that we can check it out. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella is now blogging about AI slop. So if you don't know what AI slop is, it's basically the garbage that's being produced by AI, if you want to call it that. So it reads, now that Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has appointed a new CEO to run Microsoft's biggest businesses, he has a little more time on his hands for other adventures. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Beyond focusing on Microsoft's technical work, Nadella is now turning to the ancient art of blogging to discuss Microsoft's year ahead and why he thinks everyone needs to move beyond the arguments of AI slop versus sophistication. On further down it says, Microsoft has a vision of everyone using Copilot with our voices to create content, search for information, and discover how to use things. The problem is that the vision doesn't match reality right now, and barely any of what Copilot promises to do actually works. Yeah, that's the truth. But yeah, again, I'll have a link in the description. You'll read the whole article. But yeah, okay, so we're looking at Satya Nadella's Twitter/X feed, and I want you to look at something here. Look at all these posts having to do with AI, Copilot, GPT, OpenAI, Copilot, GPT, Copilot, Copilot, Copilot. I mean, this guy is just, he's just drowning, obsessed in this AI. He thinks people like AI. So the crazy thing is people have called him out on it. People are not interested in this garbage you're cramming into everything Microsoft, whether it be Windows 11 or Office or whatever. I mean, it's just either he's making posts about AI or he's retweeting or reposting stuff about AI. This guy is he's just drunk on AI. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. So, for example, if you go to X and you search Microslop, which that's a new term that people have come up with to define current Microsoft software that's got too much AI junk embedded in it. Yeah, Microslop. There you go. So, yeah, Microslop trends and backlash in Microsoft AI obsession. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of referring to the Windows 11 system requirements as the Microsoft Elite class system requirements. But yeah, Microslop. I'm telling you, this Microsoft CEO who's drunk on AI, he wants you to stop calling AI slop in 2026. No, we're going to keep calling it AI slop because that's what it is. I mean, hey, let's face it. There's another four-letter word that starts with S and ends with T that we could call it, AI. I ain't gonna say it because I don't say those words anyway. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. maybe if we start calling it AI, shh. I wonder if he'll be offended by that, or micro. I'm telling you, And Curly Bird over here thinks the same. He thinks it's ridiculous too. Ain't that right, Curly Bird? Yes, I got an African gray parrot now over in the room over here. But yeah, I'm telling you, Microsoft they're drunk on AI, and if they keep it up, they're going to possibly do some serious damage. I mean, people are already getting fed up with Windows 11. They're getting fed up with Copilot, or excuse me, Office. Yeah, for example, when I log into Office 365 at my place of work, because they switched to Microsoft about a couple years ago. Gee, wonderful. Now when you sign into Office on the web, it's not Office anymore. It is M365 Copilot, and you're greeted with this when you sign in to Office. You're basically greeted with a chat bot for Copilot. And if I want to access Outlook, I go click on Apps and click on Outlook, because that's actually what people are there to do. They're there to use the apps. They're not there to chat with the stupid ALI chatbot. So among the things I was reading earlier today, people are getting so fed up with Windows 11. Well, for many reasons, either system requirements or performance or just the AI slop built into the operating system. I mean, Microsoft, they're pushing AI into so many areas of Windows 11. People are ditching Windows 11. They're either going back to Windows 10 or they're sticking on Windows 10 despite not being supported anymore. People are actually going back to Windows 7. Yes, Windows 7's their market share has actually increased. Believe it or not, yes, it's actually increased. People are going back to Windows 7. And I can't blame them. Windows 7 was the last good operating system for Microsoft. Windows 10 was okay. It fixed a lot of the stuff that was wrong with Windows 8. And granted, I do like some of the stuff that's in Windows 11, like some of the new UI features. But there's a lot of stuff in Windows 11 I really don't much care for. And if it's not Windows people are migrating to, it's Linux. Microsoft pushing AI on people who don't want AI might be the best thing to ever happen for Linux. Because if Microsoft keeps up, they're going to learn that no company is too big to fail. They seem to think that Microsoft, they seem to think that they're big enough that they can't fail. They can force this AI slop on their users and get away with it. But ultimately, the customer is going to vote with their dollar or with their choice of operating system. And with Linux becoming more and more viable as an option, I do think if Microsoft wants to say this is going to be a pivotal year for the company, well, yeah, it's going to be pivotal, all right, because people are going to be switching to Linux. Or they're going to be switching away from Windows 11. They might be going back to Windows 7. Maybe they'll send a message to Microsoft, say, hey, maybe you should go back to making Windows like you used to, where you treated the owner of the PC as if they own the computer and not Microsoft. I mean, don't even get me started on that. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. 2026 is going to be a pivotal year for Microsoft, but it might not be in the way that they think if they keep it up. So, anyways, that's our first video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.